How's it going, everybody? So day 1 of Tower was a huge success on the JTD account and kind of an unmitigated disaster on the Dorks account. We're going to try and right that ship today, though, so I'm going to share my save squads with you. Obviously, haven't done the gameplay yet because it doesn't start for another couple hours, but I can't actually do the gameplay tonight. It's date night with the wife, and if you could do that instead of playing Marvel Strike Force, big thumbs up. Not because Marvel Strike Force sucks, which I know a lot of people kind of feeling that way right now, but because wives are awesome. And you should, I don't know where I'm going with this one. We're going to stop now. All right, so we're going to share the save squads. You can go ahead and check them out. If you want to wait and see the actual gameplay, I'll get that done tomorrow morning, and I'll upload those as quickly as possible, or you can just check out the live stream. That'll be both on YouTube and Twitch. The information, why I'm recommending these teams, is because I did spend every single day of practice that we had leading up to this because of the little kerfuffle. I used it testing a bunch of teams and seeing what's best. This is not without risks. Trying to push as far as I can on day 2 is definitely a risky proposition, especially for the free-to-play account, but I'm looking forward to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure you leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe. So let's start with the elephant in the room. We did kind of fail a mechanics check yesterday on this floor 37 with our extreme team, which is going to greatly limit us. We're not going for floor 49 anymore. We're going for floor 48, and then we're going to right the ship the next day. We still have time to make it right, but having to do 37 before 38, 39, 40 definitely limits us. We're going to have to use our secret defenders here to make sure we can still hit every box, and even then it's going to be a little sketchy. So we're going to have our secret defenders coming in floor 37. This one's not sketchy. We'll do the rewind on Wong. We'll stun the Morgan, and then we're just going to go for broke. And that's going to be it. It's not going to be all that difficult, right? The next team that we got to take on is the Apocalypse team with Red Hulk, Emma, Morgan Le Fay, Quicksilver, Black Cat, lots of scary teams here. Normally, I would use Kang in place of Cable, but I need Kang. So we're doing a little bit of a risk here. We're still going to need to go first. As long as we erase that enemy Apocalypse, I still have faith that we're going to get this done. It's just going to be a little bit uglier. But I think with the power of diamonds on Red Hulk, it's not going to be too bad. But hey, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. We're going to know shortly. We're going to find out shortly, which will lead us to floor 49 or 39 rather. I'm going to be very safe with this one. I'm just going to be hitting it with the Sinister Six team, which we have Vulture, Lizard, and then the other Superior 6 members. So we're going to do a bunch of turn meter rewinds, get ahead of the game, and we go from there. Make sure that you hit Hard Light with the slow from Vulture. That's going to make sure that your Goblin gets to go ahead, rewind everybody, and then get Craven to ability block that Hard Light. And then from there, it's not so bad. Not so bad at all. Unlike the next stage, stage 40, which is a little bit of a stat check. I'm going to be hitting it with my Hive Mind and Black Knight. I do have 1 diamond on Black Knight. Position here is super important. Make sure your Red Goblin is beside the Black Knight because he's the one who you would rather get rewound over anybody else, especially Carnage. Carnage's special is no debuffs on it. So when Carnage goes, he's going to be able to kill the Greg without taxing your team by giving Skrull speed bar, because Skrull will eventually outspeed you. If you say Gwenom, you're hitting everybody every single time. She's putting bleeds on more than 3 characters. He will eventually go before you, right? Same with Void Knight, same with Red Goblin. If you're putting out too many debuffs, you could find yourself in a pickle. So try and hit as little people as possible while still pinging Gregs and getting Skrull lower. I did already do this particular fight on this account, and it worked great. So I'm confident that I can get it done again. Unlike this next fight, floor 41, this Apocalypse team that I would really wish I had my Sinister Six with Mysterio team to take on, but I don't. On this smaller account, I did just RNG my way through it with Spider Society before. So I'm going to make my Spider Society a little bit better and make sure I get the win here. If you want to really throw caution to the wind, hit this with full Spider Society. Try and make an Old Man Logan team to take out floor 49, and you can do that if you want. That's going to be hey, do you got everything? Are all your faculties running, or are you a brave guy? Then you could do that. But I'm going to be safe. I'm going to hit Old Man Logan with Spider Society into this Apocalypse node. Old Man Logan's probably going to kill everybody before Apocalypse does the punch, which is perfectly fine by me. And by him doing that, Apocalypse will punch somebody. The rest of the characters will kind of clean it up from there. Then we have a Black Knight Out of Time Rebirth. I don't know what the heck this team is supposed to be. But it's a strong team to face off against. Pegasus, fortunately, does get the job done. Kestra with her 5,000% focus on her ultimate clears the Black Knight, and then he's got defense down. The biggest mistake you can make is peeling off the Black Knight at that point. Obviously, you're going to stun the Black Knight with your Ironheart, but even after that, put all your damage into that Black Knight. Because if you don't, he's eventually going to pop out of that stud and start wrecking you. The rest of the characters, they are going to do some damage to you along the way, but as long as your rescue doesn't die, which, I mean, I think it's like a 20% chance if they all tunnel her, or maybe less, I guess, because you're going to get to 3 people would have to tunnel her down, and then she would have to skip her passive proc where she goes stealth and Iron Man taunts. It's like, it's a low risk chance. They're going to do all their attacks, you kill the Black Knight, rescue pops all your guys back up, and then you kill the right side. It's worked for me every single time so far. I did fail it once, but only because I stopped hitting the Black Knight. Killed everybody else, Black Knight came up and soloed me. So you definitely don't want that to be your legacy. Then we got stage 43. This one's tough. I did this team on this account already, so we have Emma, Kang, and the Cabal members. Kang goes first. You want to make sure you get slows on the Morgan Le Fay, and as soon as that happens, your Cabal members go after that. If you don't land the slows on Morgan Le Fay, and she does her ultimate, it's okay. You're going to not get Terminator Red. You're going to get the debuffs, because these Morgan Le Fays are just that fast. Kang will get a crit, because he always does for whatever reason. And then you're going to go, and your team will kill everybody before it's too big an issue. So this team does work. It might be reliant on my slightly larger than average Kang, right at 2 diamonds. Then for 44, this one's very straightforward. We have our Extreme team. You got to tunnel down the Red Guardian, get a ability block on Void Knight, and from there you just hit auto. This is why I needed to use Secret Defenders lower, because Secret Defenders can't actually do this node. They get stuck behind the Red Guardian. Void Knight gets to do his ultimate, and then your Black Cat dies, or presumably would die, because that is a very, very strong Void Knight. Stage 45, this is the same team we're going to use on the Big Spender account. We're just using Tangled Web with 3-piece at a time. Your Tangled Web goes first, stun that Goblin, tunnel that Goblin down as fast as you can. You're probably going to want to switch your Cosmic Ghost Rider to a Striker, or keep him as a Raider if you just want to go for the crit. Get that Goblin dead, go from there, and then even if your Weaver dies, as soon as that Goblin's dead, the out-of-time members, they just sustain their way through everything, which is kind of crazy. Alright, now we're going to be using our Skrull. I use this team many times. It feels extremely safe. So we have a pre-taunt, we have Dorm, Doom, Vol, because we're going to be hitting into a lot of the exposes that Skrull's going to throw out on his turn 1, and then Super Skrull. I've had it be where it's just Vol and Skrull at the end, all of a sudden Vol revives everybody, and then I have 4 out of my 5 people alive, and the enemy team is completely wiped and I'm full life. I've had it go that way, but it never felt like out of control, because I always knew Vol Ultimate was around the corner. Alright, floor 47, this is kind of a niche team, a somewhat niche team. We're going to be using our Death Seed with Spider-Woman. You want to target that Icarus, bring him in with the Magneto Blind. He's going to get covered. Archangel ult into that Icarus. He's going to steal the offense up. He's going to obliterate that Icarus. The turn meter stuff starts happening. The enemies are blind, so they miss all their attacks, and you can kind of just whittle your way through it. But before you get to do all that, your Spider-Woman needs to put an ability block on the Rogue. She goes before the Rogue, so it works out really good. She gets 100% focus, so it works really good. If you are concerned, make your Spider-Woman a skirmisher. If you have a really small Spider-Woman, this might be the end for you. You might have to start looking for a different option. You can do a Speed Eternals team and probably get through this as well, but that's what we're going to be using on the next floor, because we're going for broke. Yeah, we're definitely going for broke. And on floor 38, this is pretty tough. This one can go bad. We tried it with Fury instead of Loki, but the turn meter there could lead into Firestar ulting into the Juggernaut, which is definitely not ideal. So the way it works now, we have Skirmisher on Cersei and on Loki. They both use their opening abilities on the Juggernaut. Of course, we're going to turn meter on a Cersei. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Loki's going to strip that Juggernaut of his taunt, and after that, hopefully your Icarus is going to go first. He's going to ult, flip the defense down on Vol, and then you just full send it into Vol, and she dies, right? You cover her with bleeds from Firestar. You then spread bleeds from Death Pool back onto her from one of her adjacent characters, the Vol's adjacent characters, and then she bleeds out and you just win from there. Alternatively, if Firestar goes first, you still target the Darkhawk, then your Icarus goes, then your Death Pool go, spread some bleeds, and hopefully she dies. If not, she gets close enough that you can still edge it out. This one could fail, especially if you don't have like Crimson Geared Eternals, which I know a lot of people don't have, but that's the budgetary option. So this is going to be a very ambitious run for the finals here. If we mess up along the way, as long as we like beat floor 46, so if I need to take care of some of these guys to make sure I get through these floors, I'd be fine. As long as you can beat floor 46, I'm confident that over the rest of the days, we'll be able to beat one extra floor every single day. So like we'll be at 49, drop down 41, back up to, say we started at 46 today, then we'll start at 47 the next day, 40 the next day, 49, and then we'll just stay there. So I do think that there's going to be time to make up for some little mistakes here and there. So just know that this is very ambitious. If you want to crunch some of these teams down and just focus on just hitting stage 46, I think that's perfectly great. If you beat stage 37, then you're going to have a much different use of this Secret Defenders. Because you could use this Secret Defenders on the double Morgan Le Fay node. Kang slots back in here with this Apocalypse team, and then everything kind of falls into place a lot easier. But that's up to you guys. So the Save Squad import codes will be in the comment section below. Hope you enjoy them. I won't be doing my attacks live tonight. I'm doing a date night with the wife. So if you want to wait and see these in action, I'll be doing them on stream. Tomorrow, I'll try and post that video right away if that's what you guys want, and we'll go from there. But hey, guys, if you're going to go ahead, good luck on Sword Satellite tonight. It's a lot of fun. I love this mode. I like these new floors. I think they actually did a really good job on them. And I'd be interested to know what you need to think. Now, though, we're going to head on over to the Big Spender account because we're going to be going from floor 41 to floor 50 and beating floor 50 on day 2. Enjoy. Alright, guys, so we're just going to jump right into this, try and get this video done. Lickety split. Stage 41, we have the Apocalypse at the Pav there. We're going to cheese this one by using Superior 6 with Mysterio, so Apocalypse doesn't get immunity, and Vulture, so like we steal the speed up, we give them slow, and then we basically just get to run roughshod on them. The worst thing that could happen here is Apocalypse counterattacks your Vulture right away, he gets speed up, but he still doesn't go before the Mysterio. So what's going to happen is your Goblin is going to put the ultimate down, that's going to hurt everybody. The Sasquatch may not drop below that 75% mark where he's no longer taunting. That's fine. Because after your Goblin goes, it's going to be your Kraven. Your Kraven, if he has to ability to block the Sasquatch, it's not a big deal. That should push him below 75%. If that doesn't, then you use the Doc Ock Basic. If that doesn't push him, then your team was just too small to be up here. And you probably shouldn't be watching this portion of the video. You should be watching the other one. And after all that is said and done, Mysterio can target the Apocalypse, hit him with the ability block and the blind. And that Apocalypse is going to be the only character that takes a turn, and it's just going to be his basic. Let's talk about like worst case scenario. We're just saying like, hey, your team wasn't the right power, so you couldn't get past the Sasquatch. You literally couldn't do 75% of his life with all those attacks before Mysterio. Well, the good news is you still have an RNG chance of winning because Mysterio's special does give adjacent targets ability block as well. If it chooses the Apocalypse, you're going to be A-okay, and you're going to get it done. If that Apocalypse gets to use his ultimate, it is over for you. But this is going to be a super duper efficient counter to that stage 41. Alright, so for stage 42, you actually hit it with your full Pegasus team. There's no Captain America on this node. So your Kestrel actually has 5,000% extra focus on her ultimate. She's going to throw that at the Black Knight's face. It should, very, very much could be resisted. There's always like a 1 in 10,000% chance. It should strip him, should give him defense down. After that, it's going to be Ironheart hitting him with the stun. You are going to have to eat a couple attacks, and they're going to be able to pop off from there. Now, just remember, if you get tunneled down, as long as it's not rescue, you still have a very good shot of winning. So don't freak out and try and back into this one. But if you fail here, then you're going to have to make like a big-time Spider-Man Tangled Web team, and that's going to have dire implications further down. I'll say if you are on this track where you've already beaten stage 40 day 1, I'm going to assume you have a really big Pegasus. That's not going to be a problem. My 3.1 mil, never any issues. My 2.4 million, I went in there, and I just barely didn't kill the Black Knight, but that's because I didn't throw all my attacks at him. So even though the Black Knight is stunned, do not get off him. All of your damage goes into the Black Knight as soon as you can put anything out there, and you should be fine. And if not, then hit me up and we can make a different team for that. But on the whole, this is a very, very safe match. Stage 43 was actually like a really big puzzle to solve. As like the big spender track, this is going to be very easy for you. So we're going to come in here with Guardian, 3 out of the 4 horsemen, so we're not bringing Archangel. And I threw Black Bolt in, but really any 5th will do as long as they're not a mystic character. Like Black Bolt, I like kind of like what his burp did, but if you wanted to bring like Slayer in here, well, I probably wouldn't bring Slayer because that's a Spider-Verse character for the Lizard. But if you want to bring any non-Spider-Verse character, non-mystic character in here, that'll be fine. The offense up from Guardian is going to be super helpful. And we don't want to make sure Rogue is not adjacent to Red Hulk here because you want your Morgan to get the speed from the Red Hulk. So Red Hulk opens up with his special either on top of one of the Morgans or on top of the Lizard, whichever way he hits 2 of them, right? And then the Morgan Le Fay is going to use her ultimate. Now, Morgan Le Fay's ultimate is going to absolutely wreck them because not only did Red Hulk hit with offense up, Morgan's now hitting with offense up. If she's a striker, obviously target whoever had a vulnerable, and she's going to double ping them, and they're going to die. If you want to play it safe, play it the long way, you could try and make your Morgan Le Fay a skirmisher. So a skirmisher with the offense up, she's probably going to land that ability block trauma on both of the Morgans, and then from there, you kind of just have to kill them after that. I much preferred the glass cannon route because even if I don't land the ability block on the second Morgan Le Fay, the first Morgan Le Fay that I'm targeting, that I'm actually hitting, her just getting yeeted up the map makes this way easier. But if this match fails, then we actually have to drop down and use our secret defenders with Nova here. This one's not bad. It's not great either. You're going to Miss Marvel special on top of the Lizard for winding both of the Morgans. Then you're going to use the Black Cat stun on one of the Morgans. The ability block is going to have to go on the other. Because there's two Morgans, they're actually getting 20% for every turn that you take, so they're going to take turns very quickly. But the secret defenders with Nova, they tend to just have so much damage, they just kind of punch through it. You do want to make sure you deviate to hit the Iron Patriot. Don't let him take a turn. Whether that means putting a blind on him, sorry, blind, I don't think blind works. Putting the ability block on him from Ghost Rider or the stun from Nova, make sure you control that Iron Patriot. But this is a very, very safe match when all that is said and done. Stage 44, you're going to hit with Extreme. You have to have Cyclops here, so you're taking all the revives off. This is a very, very simple matchup. We're going to just tunnel down that Red Guardian. We're either going to kill him or get rid of his taunt when he drops below 50% life, or whatever skirmishers you're hitting him with. And then your Gambit, make sure you put that ability block on top of the Void Knight, and then from there, you're just kind of playing clean up. It could be, if you have a smaller Extreme team, that you're staring at a solo Dormammu against your 5 characters. That's not really anything to be concerned about. Kill all the other characters first. Get it done. If you want to save your Nightcrawler for the final node, which is a viable strategy, then you're going to need to come in here with a Tangled Web team instead, which is going to hurt our next stage. I'd be interested to know if anyone tries to go that route, and then what do you use on the next stage. Because, yeah, Tangled Web with North Star could come in here and handle that, but then you also need to keep your secret. It's a whole balancing act at that, so I really just kind of like using Extreme here. All right, so stage 45 was like a nice, interesting little puzzle to solve. I did beat it a few times with just straight Spider Society, so you could try that if you want, but I'm going to let you know, my super big Spider Society did lose one time. The Goblin, the damage from his ultimate, the trauma and everything like that, it was just too much to overcome. Firestar ended up killing, I believe it was Peter, and then from there was just no way, right? With those heals, it was done. So instead, we use this team, and this is why we want to use Pegasus on floor 42. This is going to be Tangled Web with Out of Time, no Black Knight, and no Starnak. So the whole idea here is that 2099 and Weaver are faster than the Goblin. So 2099, and faster than Miss Marvels, more importantly. 2099 is going to attack that Goblin. Make sure you have Skirmisher on your 2099 so you get that vulnerable, and then Weaver will stun the Goblin. You are going to take one passive hit from your 2099, so it's kind of awkward that we have him positioned in the back right. But this is also very important. We want him positioned in the back right, and we want Weaver in the back left, just because every time they get hit, Weaver's going to get speed bar, she gets energy. This is going to help her kind of keep those charges up. I had one instance where I got the stun on Goblin, but then all my charges ripped off, and just everything was at Weaver, and Weaver died. But because we stunned Goblin the first time, and we were able to kill him with the damage from Cosmic Ghost Rider, with the damage from Captain America and from Peggy. I also used Starnak instead of Peggy one time. That worked out well. Just the extra damage was really nice, but I like Peggy better. Maybe if you're having a size difference, Starnak might be the go-to for more damage. I digress. Once the Goblin is dead, the team falls apart. And from there, if you have Peggy instead of Starnak, Peggy is just going to keep Captain America and Cosmic Ghost Rider alive forever. This could be like a 5-minute fight, but it was very safe. I never lost it, even on the time where I did have Weaver die. And that's going to be the first 5 floors. From here, it's going to get pretty tricky and pretty demanding on your roster. So stage 46 is kind of the real puzzle. Like, if you have Mephisto and you have the Old Man Logan, you have everything like that, stage 46 becomes the tax on your teams that stops you from having 100% like, I'm gonna win chance by going 41 to 49 and clearing 450 every single day. This Skrull is an absolute problem. So the above team with Apocalypse, I found to be 100% win rate. So we go in here, we have the Black Knight, who's going to be pinging away at the Skrull. We have Emma, reducing speed bar. Dormammu, giving Doom a revive. Apocalypse, who can do the Falcon Punch, get off of that Sasquatch taunt and hit. He either kills the Sasquatch, or he can do the special, get extra safeguard, defense up, all that kind of stuff. And eventually Doom gets pushed, brings Apocalypse to the ride, and then you can go about doing your job. I did that match 3 times. Very safe, very, very easy. The second option is to save your Apocalypse for stage 50. I tried this one once. I failed just barely. I did kill the Skrull. The Skrull is the big problem here, right? But then I just didn't have enough damage to eke out the Sylvie and the Vol before they got turns. Now, I have a friend of the channel, Gandorf, an acquaintance of mine. He said he was able to beat this 4 out of 5 times. He had pretty much the exact same team I have, except he had Crimson Gear on the Doom. And I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of having Doom as a raider in this case, because you can't really get off the taunting Sasquatch. But at the same time, you couldn't really get to the Skrull either, because the Skrull is in stealth. And then the question is, well, should you just make Dorm a raider then? Because all of Dorm's attacks, because he's going to go for the ride, they can't directly hit the Skrull either. So maybe Dorm Raider and Doom Raider is the move. And what you rely on is you rely on the 2 hits that Black Knight initially does on the Skrull. You rely on the Doom Boom hitting the Skrull. And then what you're going to want to do with Dorm is you want to make sure you're hitting him as much as possible. You want to use the ultimate as early into that chain as you can, because it can give defense down to that Skrull. And if he dies and the rest of the characters die, then, I mean, this is by far the coolest thing to do. My plan, for whatever it's worth, is I'm going to do the first team. First team, first day, because I know I beat stage 50 once without Apocalypse, and I'm going to try again, but just getting to that is going to be more important. And then I want to see who's got the cojones to drop down and do the reclimb every single day, or are people just going to be like, I have a safe team for floor 50. I'm going to let everybody else take those risks, because the second you screw up on the reclimb and you don't clear that floor 50 every single day, you are no longer in the running for top 100. You just won't be. So this is going to be like an interesting dynamic on how people take the risk reward of this. But yeah, this Dormammu team, I might gear tonight team my Dormammu just to be able to do this. I tried other versions, like I tried with Dakin instead. So Black Knight goes crazy, he hits the Skrull twice, Dakin's able to get in there and he hits the Skrull. He also puts ability block on the Skrull, but he doesn't do it at the right time. He does it in between turns 1 and turn 2. So yes, Skrull gets ability block, but he was gonna basic anyway, so it's kind of a weird dynamic there. And then Skrull already has offense up. So it's like, oh, well, okay. So now he's ulting with offense up. It didn't really work out, but there was some intrigue there. There's a much safer option for this room on the first climb, but it involves Skrull. That'll be in the other portion of this video for the people that don't have Mephisto, that are just going to be settling for floor 49. But yeah, this is going to be the stage, guys, that is really going to determine top 100 and if people are going to be brave enough to drop down. If you have any other options here that you use on floor 46 that don't involve Old Man Logan, Mephisto, Skrull, and Apocalypse, let me know in the comment section below. I'd be super interested to pick your brain. So floor 47 was super interesting. These characters are so squishy. Now I do have a 3 million team here, right? We have a giant Death Seed with a very big Spider Woman. The way this works is we pull in targeting the Icarus, lots of damage goes in, then our Archangel is going to use his ultimate targeting that Icarus. He'll steal that offense up from Icarus and he will lay the smack down. Icarus dies, turn meter rewind happens, it's all crazy, right? In the meantime, we're going to use Spider-Woman special, targeting the Rogue. She gets 100% extra focus for that. She ability buffs the Rogue, so Rogue is just going to hit with her basic. The Cosmic Ghost Riders are blinded from the Magneto, so they actually whiff their stuff. You're able to, if you get the kill on Icarus, get ahead of that Captain Sam, and Beast is going to go ahead and put an ability block on him, and then the node falls apart. I did this with a much smaller team, but it did feel a little bit sketchier. The other option for this is going to be your Hive Mind. Pretty similar to what we just talked about. You're going to target the Rogue with your Void Knight, put the ability block on him, and then go for the weakest character. The weakest character, of course, is going to be Rogue, because she spawns with defense up, and Void Knight flips that defense up. Presumably gets a crit on her. You could have your Carnage as a striker. He hits into the Rogue, drops her super low, get lots of speed, and then you just sort of take over and win from there. I didn't really have to try that. My Death Seed team worked every single time, but I know other people that did this, and it worked great for them. Also, keep in mind that Icarus, there's no Cersei. There's no turn meter rewind. There's no buff flip, so he's hitting into your defense up. He's not really doing much damage, and he's not the threat that we are used to in that case, right? All right, so stage 48 can be a little brutal, and we do have a cheese team. At first, we were using Fury instead of Loki, but then we found out that if Firestar goes before Icarus, it's a loss. It just is, because Firestar's not able to hit the Vol. With Loki, it doesn't make it an auto win, but it certainly helps. So Loki makes Cersei go first. Cersei is going to use her ultimate, does a turn meter rewind, and it puts her vulnerable in that Juggernaut. Because she's a skirmisher. She has to be a skirmisher. Loki then goes. He also has to be a skirmisher. He can take that final taunt off of Juggernaut because he's going to hit, skirmisher into vulnerable mark. From there, you would think that your Icarus is always going to go 100% of the time because Cersei puts speed up on Icarus, so clearly his speed is now faster than Firestar. For whatever reason, sometimes she'll still go before him, which is just ludicrous and stupid. But because we've gotten off the taunt from the Juggernaut, we can then target, I believe it's the Darkhawk. We want to make sure we're hitting the Beta Ray Bill, hitting the Rescue, and hitting that Vol. And then we go from there. The best order that can happen here is Icarus goes before the Firestar, which I guess is 50% chance. He'll flip the defense up off that Vol, do lots of damage. Firestar comes in, her bleeds are now hitting into a defense down Vol. And if Vol doesn't get pushed, it's then Deathpool's turn. Deathpool spreads off the Darkhawk, or whoever has the most bleeds touching Vol. Those bleeds go into Vol, and then Vol dies. And then from there, this node it's completely over. It's a wash, and it's super easy. Now, if this fails you, this second team, I've had to use this once, and it worked great. There is, I guess, a little bit of RNG, but with Lizard's probably going to go first here. 50% chance, I guess. He does go before the Fury, is my understanding. And then the enemy Lizard is just going to steal it. If the enemy Lizard goes before yours, hey, you're laughing because you're going to clear everything. You're going to then get your own taunt, and then you're going to eat the Vol hit. Or you're going to get a crit. Lizard should definitely be a Raider in this case. You're going to want to use the special from Fury anyway. And once your team starts using their abilities, the enemies melt. If Vol will be the only... It'll be Lizard and Vol take turns, and then it's just your team because we have speed up. And Vol will hopefully be hitting into the Lizard, putting no ability block out there. Once your team gets going, it's over. It's done. Like, the amount of damage your Cabal does is too much for this enemy team to handle. So that's really good. If for whatever reason on stage 46 you didn't have to use Doom, you could also use like a Doom Dorm speed team here with like a Quicksilver. I did that once. I wouldn't recommend it. I just want to throw it out there so you guys knew it was an option. Alright, so stage 49 is where if we failed on the Horseman team earlier, we will no longer have this option. But this team works fantastic against this last Dormammu node. Obviously, Black Cat steals all the revives. You want to aim your Hard Light special targeting the Panda Pool. That rewinds the Dorm. It rewinds, I believe, the Cosmic Ghost Rider. It rewinds both Iron Patriots. It just doesn't rewind one Starnak and the Hard Light. Hard Light goes next. She can't rewind you because your Black Cat still has Death Proofs, but she does take your taunt away, which forces you to use your Black Cat special into the Hard Light, as well as your Robbie special into the Hard Light. So you're like, damn, I just wasted all my damage. I got both the Iron Pages over there to worry about. Dorm, it doesn't matter. If your team is around like 3.3 million, because, this is one of the best teams in the game, you don't need a giant Nova for this, by the way. It's just like kind of a plus. Sorry for hitting the mic. Then you're going to be okay. After that, we've wasted our abilities on Robbie and Black Cat on that Hard Light to get by her. We're then going to use the special from Photon, making sure we're hitting as many people as possible. We use that Nova special on top of the Panda Pool. That's going to flip the buffs that Dorm has, giving him Disrupt instead of immunity and defense down. And from there, our Robbie laps them. So Robbie is then going to do a lap. He's going to do his ultimate. The Dormammu starts to melt. He'll be your primary kill target. And then you can Black Cat finish him off with her ultimate, right? As far as ISOs go here, I would strongly suggest maybe make Nova a Raider in this case, and then Black Cat and Robbie can both be Strikers. This one was actually pretty safe, but hey, if you needed to use this team on stage 43 instead, then I did use these guys once. So I used Spider Society with North Star. Now this was kind of funny, right? Because the Hard Light goes really fast, but with your North Star having dodge, she's not actually going to rewind him, which is perfect. What you need to do, though, is you need to get a slow on that Robbie Reyes with your Pav as fast as possible. So then North Star takes the revives off. The Spider Society team just kind of does what they do. They out-sustain through it. They get really quick kills, and it does work. But this Secret Defender team is by far better. Just my opinion. You might notice there's no Noir on this team, and that's because we're going to be using Noir on the final stage, unless you saved Apocalypse. You didn't have to use him on stage 46. It seems counterintuitive, right? Like, why am I using these mythic characters into an enemy Mephisto? He's going to give them exposed. They're not going to get their speed bar. They're going to be pretty much dead weight. Kind of true. But these characters also have their own passives. Our Apocalypse stops the enemy Apocalypse from ever getting a Safeguard. And our Skrull, his passive stops the enemy Apocalypse from being able to regain Safeguard from the enemy Mephisto. These two things allow Old Man Logan to get in front and control the Apocalypse before he does his Falcon Punch. He will probably get his ultimate off, but he won't get his Falcon Punch off because your Old Man Logan will get a slow on that Apocalypse, and from there you slowly get to take over. Now, this isn't the optimal team that I guess, like, instead of having Kang, you could have Noir here if you want, but I figure if you're going to use Apocalypse here, maybe you could use Noir with Spider Society just to make sure it's safer. Or maybe Nightcrawler, but hey, we had to use Nightcrawler on one of the dorm nodes. And that way we'd have 2 heroes, 2 villains, right? Apocalypse and Mephisto would be the villains, Old Man Logan, Nightcrawler / Noir would be the heroes to activate Skrull's passive. But Skrull's main use here is his passive and is his turn meter rewind. Because he needs the 2 villains to rewind by 60%. This is kind of okay. I kind of don't mind doing just the one hero. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be the Old Man Logan show, and that's all that really matters. So this is like the sure to win team. And then this is going to be the I wanted to safely get past stage 46, so I used Apocalypse. So obviously all we do is we replace Apocalypse with Noir here. That does help my Old Man Logan go. I did this match. I only got to do it once because I was trying other comps and they were all failing. I think I got a little lucky. The Apocalypse did get to do his Falcon Punch, and he punched my Noir. There was a world where he could have punched Old Man Logan, and then the match would have been over. That would have been a devastating defeat. It wouldn't have been close at that point, right? So this is your beware. Unless we find a different solution for 46 that doesn't tax the other nodes we had to do so far too hard, and doesn't involve these 5 characters here, it's going to be risky. I think there's going to be a couple people playing it safe. They're going to climb to floor 50. They might risk it for the first day, and then if they reach floor 50, they just stay there. And they just clear floor 50 with this team every single day. But there's going to be a world of people like me. I'm going to try and drop down to 41, climb all the way back up at least once, and see who's got the goods and is going to try and get it done as well. But that's it, guys. So this is going to be like the Kraken version of 41 to 50, rinse, repeat every single day. We did have some characters that we didn't use all the way. So like if you wanted some different inspiration, let's say if you had you didn't like these teams that we have here, let me go ahead and hit create, and you'll see that we do have some characters that didn't quite make the cut, right? Like Vol, if we can find a way to use her on stage 46. The Infinity Watch team, if big enough, can work against the Rogue Icarus node, but I wouldn't recommend it, right? Big Time Spider-Man is interesting, taking off some revives, getting past some pre-taunts. Maybe if we wanted to do, let's say, Tangled Web with Big Time Spider-Man into the node that we have slotted for Extreme, and then maybe the Extreme team could beat that Goblin node with or without Nightcrawler, so Nightcrawler could shovel down to stage 50. These are some of the ideas that I'm interested to know what you guys think and what you guys come up with, because you guys are hella smart. And just so everyone's aware, I know a couple people with a small Mephisto, Kang, and 3 Cabal members beat that stage 50. So they didn't have Skrull, they didn't have Apocalypse, they just got it done. That was pure luck, guys. It was pure luck. Try doing that 6 days in a row, I dare you. And if you get it done, boy, you got to sell me that horseshoe, because I'm going to need to take it off your hands, if you will. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Best of luck on your day 2 of Tower. I'm not going to be doing it live on stream because I'm going to be hanging out with the wife tonight, but I will be doing it tomorrow during the day. Hope to see you guys then. But for now, stay happy, all have fun. I'll check you guys later. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.